Hey, Richard Matthews here, aka The Alchemist, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can hook up ActiveCampaign, which is a fantastic follow-up system for using marketing automation like the stuff that I teach in my 7-figure social sales funnel webinar, and how you can add some extra modality to it by hooking it up to Call Loop. Call Loop allows you to have text to subscribe features. So text to subscribe is when you have ever seen any of those things like, text this word to this short code and you'll be added to our list and we can follow up with you. Now, this is really powerful in your business if you are, say, running a webinar, or if you are running things like a YouTube channel like this one, or if you're running a podcast and you want people to be able to text to subscribe and you want to be able to follow up with cool automations that allow you to talk to those prospects in different ways and do cool things with them. So I'm going to show you how you can do that today in this video. So let me go ahead and hop over here. One of the ways that I'm using this is in my webinar funnel, and it's over here at the very end of the webinar funnel. Now you can't build this kind of automation with anything other than something like Ontraport or Infusionsoft or ActiveCampaign. I really, really like ActiveCampaign because of its cost. I'm going to show you that in just a minute. And you can't do this kind of automation with really any other system. So I really like ActiveCampaign for that reason, and I wanted to be able to add the extra modality of using text to apply with shortcodes. Now, you could be doing, like I said, you could be doing a YouTube channel, or you could be doing a podcast or anything, you could be speaking live in front of people. And if you want to have that text to apply feature tied in with all the cool automations that you can do with ActiveCampaign, then you need to be able to hook it up with Call Loop. Now, let me hop over here and show you. This is my webinar that I have. It's just a video of it on YouTube, and I have at the end of the webinar, they can text apply to 38470, or they can visit my application. But when they text apply to 38470, I wanted to kick off a set of automations in ActiveCampaign, which lets me do some really cool stuff with this application. I'll show you how that works in another video, but I just want to show you that, hey, you can have text to apply and do that. Again, you can use this on anything that you're doing where you're talking to someone. It'll be real quick for them to subscribe with their shortcode. Now, let me come over here and hop into ActiveCampaign and show you they do offer SMS and text message marketing in ActiveCampaign. Now, the problem with ActiveCampaign's SMS text message marketing is that it's not to a shortcode, it's to a regular phone number. There's nothing particularly wrong with using a regular phone number, except that it's not as easy for someone to remember. So like if I said, hey, text the word apply to 718-202-7183, you're not going to remember that off the top of your head. Now if I said text apply to 38470, you'd probably be able to repeat that back to me and use it real quick. So I like for marketing pieces when I'm standing in front of people or doing videos or doing podcasts using the shortcode. So ActiveCampaign doesn't allow me to use the shortcodes. They do have some of it built in, and then the other problem is the pricing. So in order to use the SMS text marketing, you have to step up to the middle plan, and you can see the difference here. It goes from $9 to $49, which is a 5 times increase in price. And basically what you're going to get is you're going to get SMS text message marketing, um, and a few more contacts. But basically, even if you bump this up to 1,000 contacts, you're $7 to $50. It's like 2.5 times as expensive. So it's more expensive, and it doesn't work quite as well as Call Loop. So I wanted to see how you could just hook Call Loop up into ActiveCampaign. Now, fortunately, you can do that. There's not a direct integration, but I've tested it all out and it works great, and I've been using it for my podcast, The Hero Show, and I'm using it here for this application process, and we can hook it all up. So I go into Call Loop and show you you just set up a group in Call Loop, and you'll have to set up an account. It's free to set up an account, and you want to purchase a keyword. I think the keyword is like $90 for the whole year or something like that, or $10 a month. Pretty inexpensive, and the keyword that I have purchased is apply. So I have the text, word apply to 38470. And the first thing you want to do is you want to hook it up to a group. You create a group. I created a group called my 7-figure social sales funnel shortcode group, and I connect that shortcode to that group. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to go into that group, and we want to hook that up with an integration. And the integration we're going to hook it up with is MailChimp. So let me go into this shortcode group here. And when you first set it up, it's going to ask you what your name is, whether or not you should allow resubscribe to notifications, and an email address where the notifications are going. So put all that information in, and then you want to make sure you check this little blue box that says integrate with one of our providers. So you select that button, and you're going to want to select MailChimp. Now, the next thing it's going to ask you for is your MailChimp key. So we're going to come over into MailChimp, and you have to do two things in MailChimp. One is you have to create a list and add a field to it. So you have a little button here to create lists. I've already created one, the 7-figure sales funnel shortcodes. And now I've got this list in here. The first thing that you'll want to do with this list is come into settings and add a list field. So that's under settings, and there's a little button that says add a field. So I've already done this, but you can click add a field and you select phone, and it'll pre-fill all the data that you need. So I've already added one. I'll remove that because I don't actually need that field to be added. Because you can see I have my phone number there, and I gave it a merge tag of phone, and I now have that field set up. So that's the first thing you need to do is set up the merge tag and set up a list, and then you'll want to grab your API key. So to get your API key, you'll just want to go to Account and go over to Integrations. I'm sorry. I'm going to go over to Account, and you're going to click on Extras and API Keys. And under API Keys, you'll just want to create a key and then grab that key and put it into your call loop setting. And that's basically it. After you drop in your API key, then you'll select the list that you just created and select the merge field that you created, the phone number, and you click Save. Now, what that's going to do is when you set those two things up, anytime someone texts the word apply to 38470, they're going to be added to this group and then dropped into that MailChimp list. So that is the first part of the connection, is we need to connect call loop to MailChimp. Now, MailChimp will talk directly to ActiveCampaign via Zapier. So ActiveCampaign is really, really great with their integrations with Zapier, and then you can have it set up and set things up for you. So anytime something happens with one of your other applications, you can have it talk to Zapier and then drop things into ActiveCampaign. So I'll go into my Zapier account over here, and you make a new Zap, and you'll want to set up your trigger app to be MailChimp. So you go to MailChimp and you say, what I want is I want subscriber activity. So whenever someone subscribes to my MailChimp list, that's when I want the trigger to happen. And the action that I want is an ActiveCampaign. I want them to add or update a contact. So you just hook up your MailChimp account and you can test that. And you can hook up your ActiveCampaign account. And if you need to connect a different one, you just hit the little plus button. You're going to put in your API keys and such from each of those accounts. And once you've hooked them up, you just click the test button and they'll say they're working. It's very, very simple from here. You go in on your filter and say only trigger subscriber activity when the list is the 7-figure shortcode list or whatever the name of your list is that you just set up. And then what I want to do is set them into whatever the list I have in ActiveCampaign is. So in my ActiveCampaign, which is over here, I have the list that all this triggering is happening off of is my 7-figure coaching interest list. So back in Zapier, I select that coaching interest list, and you just insert your fields. So I click Insert and select Email, and it's going to drop the email in, and you can see I've already added these in here. But it's that simple. You click on Insert Fields, first name, insert fields, last name, come down to phone number, insert fields, phone number. Then I add a tag for call loop because I'm using that tag in my automations to say, hey, does this person have the tag call loop? If they don't, I want to do some other things with them. So I add that tag so I know they came in from the call loop subscribe thing, and we're ready to go. Then you just come over and you click turn on the Zap. And when the Zap is on, what this is going to do is anytime someone texts the word apply to 38470, they're going to be simultaneously added to a MailChimp list. It's going to fire off a Zapier campaign or a trigger here and drop them into my ActiveCampaign list. Now that I've done that, I can start doing all sorts of cool automations with that person in my ActiveCampaign account. You can see here what I've kicked off is a reminder series because if they're interested, I want them to fill out the application that I have set up. And this application, when they click on the email, it's going to take the data they got from Call Loop and drop it into the application for them. And if they don't have the Call Loop, if they came in from one of my other marketing efforts for this request, I'm going to drop them into the Call Loop so I can go back into Call Loop with their information. And continue on with this reminder series. So there's some really cool automations you can do. I'll detail this automation in another video, but I just want to show you you can do some of these cool things and you can hook up Call Loop and the shortcode subscriptions with ActiveCampaign, and you can go back and forth. So when I have someone subscribe, they get dropped in via Zapier, and now that they have the tag Call Loop, I can start sending information. So anytime you see this purple one in my automations, I'm triggering things to happen in call loop. So here they're going to get a text message. Here they're going to get another text message. Or I can send out voice broadcasts, or I could send out, anything that call loop can do, I can send and trigger via ActiveCampaign. So I can have call loop talk to ActiveCampaign and go back and forth. And all that it takes to do that is to run your initial subscribe settings through MailChimp and Zapier. And it works great. I've tried it a couple of times. If you want to see some of the automations that are actually happening on this, and you are interested in actually applying for a strategy session where we can see what kind of automations we can build in your business, go ahead and try it out. Text the word apply to 38470 and you can see what'll happen. You'll actually go through this campaign. And it'll ask you to, it'll pre-fill out part of the application for the application process for the business. And it'll automatically send you to my scheduling application, which will kick off another set of automations. It'll automatically add it to my calendar, and you and I will be able to actually talk and see how we can build these kind of automations in your business. So if you have any questions that you want to get answered on this, put them in the comments. Look forward to hearing from you. And hopefully this has been a helpful video on how you can hook up ActiveCampaign with call loop so you can do text to apply with short codes and use that in automating your business.